Hi, today I'm going to show you how to clean out the bottom cavity of this Humboldt nuclear density meter. Now, as they contain radioactive sources, it's really important to keep yourself safe. Hence we're showing you from that side, but you'll notice that I'm standing on this side of the gauge and I've got my hands are the only thing exposed to the source. So this is how we recommend you do it. Now I've got an 1/8 of an inch hex key, and I've got a few other cleaning tools. You'll see those as we go along. Remove the hex keys, take those screws out and put them aside. And as you go to remove the bottom plate, sometimes if the gauge is really dirty it can be a bit sticky. So if it doesn't just lift off, you can just give it a tap and take that off and lay it upside down. This is the tungsten block, so that's the sliding mechanism that keeps the source shielded when it's in safe mode. We remove that, and there's also a spring in there that helps it to open. Now on the tungsten block it's got that recess there. That's the only side that doesn't touch anything, so you don't need to worry about that side too much. What we do want to take is an instrument. It's not overly sharp, but we can use that to scrape any mud or dirt that's trapped in there loose from inside the cavity. And we can also use a nice copper brush to give it a good scrape out. I tend to put a piece of paper down there, so as you're cleaning you can just empty any dirt onto it. You can see this gauge is pretty good, there's not much wrong there. So we give that a clean, and then just move the gauge aside so it's out of your way while you clean the other bits. So to clean the bottom plate and the sliding block, we'll use a couple of instruments. If it's not overly dirty, you can just use your hard wire brush and give it a nice scrape off. If there is bits on it that are a bit sticky, you might go back to your scraper and give it a good scrape, scraping away from yourself, even though it's blunt, just to keep yourself safe. And you want to just give it a clean up on all surfaces without too much concern about the one with the recess where the spring fits. It should be clean, but it doesn't have to be pristine. So clean that. Bottom plate feels quite nice, but we'll give that a bit of a scrape off as well to make sure. And then any of the dust from here I'm just going to put in a little bin I've got over here. Put these parts back on, and those parts are ready for me to spray with our dry glide, and I will get the gauge back. Once again, tipping the gauge on its side and keeping yourself behind it. Put a nice spray of dry glide in the cavity and on the parts around it, and then you want to let that dry for about 10 minutes before we reassemble the gauge. Right, to reassemble the gauge, we take this tungsten block, and that's the bit that the rod hits on when you go to put it into backscatter or direct transmission. So that goes into the gauge with the spring and the recess, and there's another little recess inside the gauge there that matches onto. Now I can feel that that's clipped in sturdily, so that's good. Now I can put my base plate on and put my hex screws back in. Now they should be done up nice and firm, but it doesn't have to be horribly tight. And once we've got them done up, it's always good practice to put the handle down and check that we have assembled it correctly. Nice and easy. The handle goes up and down again. Should be an easy movement, and that clean will probably be helpful once a week if you're using it a lot. Definitely as you start to feel the handle stick, go through that procedure.